So June 5th is the World Environment Day. It's celebrated across the world to strive and understand what we can do to get ecological balance or ecological interdependence. So with that theme in mind, I thought let's speak about it with all of you. Before I get into the theme of the day, let me first lay down our meeting's agenda. So first we are going to have today prepared speeches. We're going to have two speeches today, followed with the table topic session and followed with general evaluation session, which is the lifeline of this meeting. So first, I would like to welcome our general evaluator, DTM Nitesh, who is 14 plus years in Toastmasters, who has founded 10 clubs in 4 different districts, and countless number of roles.
Hello, Manoj. Manoj, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. I can hear you clear. I think it's the connection failed over there again.
Yeah, I think we lost them, no?
Let me see if we can get them on the phone. Hold on.
Okay.
The number you have just
allocated. It will be 1 for green, 1.5 minute yellow, and red, and for 2. So this was thank you. Thank you. I need to start the video as well. Yeah. Thanks.
For evaluation, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes green, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes red.
Yeah.
All right. Next role taker we have is our counter, Toastmaster Monali. So,
Greetings everyone, so I'm the counter for today. I'll be counting the filler words that everyone uses in this speech. We might not like this, we use a lot of R's and in our speeches which disrupt the flow and it makes it a bit confusing to understand. So yeah, let's be all careful for our speeches and use pauses instead of R's.
yeah, we can use pauses, but pause will also be counted if it is too long or out of context. We have to be careful about that. Personally, I have learned a lot from our counters feedback throughout my Toastmasters journey. It's a very important role, and let's be careful about how we use that. The next role we have is grammarian Toastmaster Saurabh. Yes, can we have the?
Yeah, good morning everyone. I will be the grammarian. In fact, the first time I will be the grammarian. I will be checking the grammar and syntax and the use of the word of the day today and any word which is very significant or new to this, I will be checking those. What are the days? Pristine, meaning original and pure, not spoiled or worn from use. Usage, the car seem to be pristine condition. Thank you.
The concept of R counter in this tag team is pristine to Toastmasters movement. Very nice. A couple of things before we go on. For a grammarian report, I would suggest that do not name anyone that this person made this mistake. Just point out the mistake and then correct the use of that. And similar thing for the good users. Good users you can still name, but for not so good users, please do not name anyone. That would be it. With that, I would hand it over back to Diomodi and I'll come back in that.
Okay. So now, do you still remember the theme of the day? Can you tell what is the theme of the day? Yes. So there is a famous quote which you have mostly heard. I want your opinions on it. Okay. It says that all that we have is the planet Earth. Does anyone want to comment on this? What does this mean? What does it mean to you? Huh?
There's no alternative.
There's no alternative, yes. People are trying to go to Mars. But I'm not sure about the successful, how much we can do and how affordable that is. Moon is also an option apparently. But you know how moon far away it is. Yes. So we have been given this earth and we are using it, but we are also misutilizing the same. It's our only chance to save it. We can't manufacture another earth over the next million years. Right? So we have to be very careful of it. So now, one thing is we are paying the price, like especially the trees and forests, the deforestation that is happening. It's called the lungs of the nature. And we have seen how important lungs are during the COVID pandemic. Right? And how we struggled for oxygen. Even though oxygen exists around us, we know how the entire world struggled for getting the oxygen to every patient across the world. There are trains moved, there are flights brought in, special flights to bring oxygen from country to country. And how overnight a lot of things happened. So if humans need the lungs so much and oxygen needs, you should understand how much Earth needs its lungs. Right? So that's the start of it. Now let's take a small digressor and get back into the meeting. So now let me first welcome our evaluator who's going to evaluate the first speech, Toastmaster Purushottam. In weekdays, he acts as an analytics lead, and we can fit twice to a Toastmaster apparently. So in just that trying, he has become a runner-up in District 92 Table Topics contest. So please help me welcome the speech purpose of the speaker.
Good morning, everyone. So it always feels fresh to be a part of this club, especially having people, very dedicated people here. And it's one of the club which actually teaches me on how to run meetings. I always tell, let's go to Hoodie, see how they run the meetings. So that associates what I'm with this club. So now I got this wonderful opportunity. So when I got this opportunity to evaluate Toastmaster Arun's speech, I asked him the very first question, are you sure about this? He was like, yes, I have some confidence in you. That's the reason I'm giving this to you. So ideally, the evaluation is always kind of 3 minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, but I would request the timer to give me 3 to 4 minutes because I'm going to evaluate 2 sections. One is 3 minute speech and the other is 5 to 7 minute speech. Now, I would come to the purpose of the speech. So the first speech, which will be around 2 to 3 minutes, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. So in Arun's case, it's his. I'm very confident on that. That's supposed to be a joke. So again, one more addition point to that. The purpose of the first speech is for the member to give a short overview of the plan of his project. Then immediately Arun will be giving another speech, where the purpose will be. The purpose of the second speech is for the member to share some aspect of his experience managing a project. So overall, you'll be listening to 2 speeches, first speech, second speech, immediately. And my evaluation will be followed first speech and then second speech, 3 to 4 minutes. Yeah, thanks.
Now our first speaker of today, I think I've already introduced, a CA turned stand-up comedian who's on a mission to spread smiles 1 gig at a time and make inclusion commonplace in performing arts. So Toastmaster Arun Sriram, glass is half full, Toastmaster Arun Sriram.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests once again. Today, I'm going to talk about a project that none of you in IT could perhaps relate to. Typical sense of a project is where you have a requirement gathering and then you scope it out. After that, you write your full code, you develop it, you test it. There's an alpha testing, beta testing, and then you deliver. These days, there's something called agile. This is what you people normally resonate with as a project. What I'm going to talk about today is something very different. How many of you have been to a stand-up comedy show? Do you think it is a project too? Yes. The challenge that I'm going to take today, Vaishnavi, to tell you why it is a project by itself. And this is a project that I took way back in 2021. And this entailed having my first offline show in Bangalore after the pandemic, or in fact, after the first wave of pandemic. What did it take to do a show after almost a year of doing online Zoom shows, to empty walls on my screen and assuming people were laughing on the other side? Moving from that into doing a proper show, what did it entail? Who are the people involved? When should I start preparing for it? What is the sequence of preparing for a stand-up comedy show? What are the measures of success about that particular show that I had in mind? Did it turn out the way I expected? Were there
Manoj, are you able to hear?
It's gone again. I just informed.
Okay. Looks like some issue there.
That Wi-Fi keeps breaking. That's a problem.
Yeah, maybe you know that PC also like which they use. Maybe after some time, its timeout happens and it will close.
No, I mean that does not. But this link failure, we have seen it in the past.
Oh, is it?
It's they have the corporate Wi-Fi there now, so the signal. It's a regular broadband. It's not
Okay.
a dedicated line. So if it breaks, it breaks.
Oh, is it?
I just inform them. Let's wait for them to come back.
Sure.
Okay, start the Zoom timer. Once you start the video.
Share computer.
Share computer, share sound.
Share sound.
Hey,
We are in this together. We are different, yet we are one. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arun Sriram's Control Z.
Great. So that's how it started. So this is just well begun, is half done. All the ticketing sales that we did, engaging the partners, event partners, talking to them, and making sure that the entire setup is ready half an hour prior, getting the screen in the background with the poster. This was my biggest production till date as far as 2021 was concerned. And it was an exhilarating 1 hour for me when I could get 80 people to book the tickets, 55 turned up. That's how pandemic works. And there's always a challenge of how many people are actually going to come. People are willing to attend the meeting if it's online, but when you have it online, people want to come and attend it offline. It's like how ladies go to a sari shop and ask for the same design, different color, same color, different design. And so people keep asking stand-up comedians, would you do online when it's offline? Would you do offline when it's online? Can you do it in JP Nagar? Can you do it in Indira Nagar? Can you do it in my house? So these are the various vagaries that we have to cater to. The show went off really well, and this is what happened at the end of the show. Can you play the second video, please?
Pause.
Sure, sir.
Start.
So much thanks for the thanks to the venue Bangalore International Center, my elder brother who's been here, my wife who's been supporting me, Aditri, Aditya, Shreyas, the camera crew, and everyone who helped me so far in this journey, all the open micers, last time Comedy Hyderabad for giving me opportunities to test my material and a lot of other guys. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you. This is the first time I ever had a standing ovation at the end of a show, and it still gives me goosebumps. Everything is great, but there was one learning that I took. This was the first time I was going to get a recording of my show during the first time I'm doing a particular special. This cameraman came through a reference, but he did not come up with amplifying mics. Cameras were there, but the mics weren't there, so I had to add laughter tracks to my YouTube video subsequent to the recording, and that was my single biggest learning from this. And post this, every time I do a recording show, it's in a proper performance venue, it's absolute professional setup. That's my learning, and every project I look forward to. For me, every comedy show is a project, every project is a comedy show. It's always halfway. Back to you.
Wow, a great experience hearing you about the first stand-up comedy. So if anyone on the audience, please take the learnings, whatever Arun has done. If you want to start your own gig, may not be stand-up comedy, maybe another event. So now, before I get to the next stage, let's just jump back right into our theme. So what's the theme? Yes. So I'm going to discuss 2 points on how we can do. The first one that I'm going to talk about is reuse. So before I call upon Toastmaster Thilo, what do you think about reuse?
So not showing something away after its first intended use and then using it for something else. So, yeah.
First thing when I heard the word reuse, one thing I remembered is my home kitchen. You'll see my hobbies dabba, my push dabba, right? Any other thing, right? It will all be there. Somebody gave some dabba in some reception event, that will be there, right? And it will be filled with something that is not labeled, right? And if it is a Nandini curd dabba, you open it, you will not find curd inside. You will find some vegetable or something. If it's a goose dabba, you will find groundnuts inside. If it's a Horlicks dabba, glass dabba, you will find pickle inside it, which is totally contrast. So that's quite a vivid example of how reuse works. Because the idea is, especially if these plastic items that we purchase, rather than just throwing it away after use, we can store it. Now, one more thing, especially I do myself is all this packing material we get when we order food. If I'm office, I have to throw it away because I can carry. If I order at home, I ensure I keep it with me. So because you don't know when you need to use. Some friend is coming to your home, they're just packing something. Rather than just purchasing new, you can reduce that. It's just a matter of washing that and keeping it along with the lid. Right? So that's one thing that I want to ask everyone. Try reuse as much as possible. And with that, let's take this back to the meeting. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Trilok, who is a nurtured Bangalorean who loves the city, who is a software engineer by the day, who loves playing badminton to keep himself physically and mentally fit, who loves reading and doodling, and sometimes traveling. So please help me welcome Toastmaster Trilok to explain about the next discussion.
Thank you, Bandit, for the speech that Toastmaster Yasser is going to give. The intent of the speech, which is an icebreaker speech, is twofold. First, that he's going to introduce himself to the club, and second, that he's going to learn the basic structure of public speaking. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster. So now, when I heard the name Yasser in the meeting, I said, yeah, some Toastmaster is there. But when he put his introduction, he mentioned Yasser or Rahul. Now I'm like, I had a colleague in my company, same name. Another introduction, I'm from Tamil Nadu. I'm like, okay, definitely. But then I think, okay, I'm working in other data analytics, person in Capgemini. Okay, then he's not. So that's a coincidence. Okay. So Yasser Arafat is the one who's my part of my delivery team who worked in Tamil Nadu. So I know that you are not him. So please help me welcome Yasser Arafat. Identity, Yasser Arafat.
So this is my first Toastmaster speech. To introduce me, I would say you can call. I'm Yasser, but you can call me Yasser. I'm from Tamil Nadu. I work at a level organization in Capgemini. So I'm new to Toastmasters. It's my first. It's my icebreaker session. Usually in icebreaker session, what the people used to give us picture what is about their identity, who they are, and about their passion, about their goals and all. So similar kind of thing I would take you through. So today I would like to talk about identity, my identity, which identity. So when I introduce myself as I'm a data scientist. I work in Capgemini. So this is kind of identity which I earned it through my hard work. I pursued it. I put my hard work and I gained it. So this is what the identity which I share with everyone. And there is another kind of identity which I am born with, which I am gifted with the skills, the passion, so which I was born with. That kind of identity, we don't put efforts to create it as an identity to share to people because it is like challenging the societal norms. So what rather we do is that we either hide it or ignore it. So most often, most people, we are not aware of what we are good at. Even if we are aware, we are not putting efforts to make something greater, something bigger out of it. So that's what I wanted to know about myself. So 3 years before, I wanted to explore myself. So I explored, when I started to explore, I figured out that I was good at photography, I was good at editing photographs, I was good at writing, I was good at writing script for podcasts. I tried to do podcasts, but I didn't do it because I was too lazy. And then I tried to, I used to attend a public speaking session in my previous company. I used to attend all the session, and the scripts that I need to write for the session, I used to take from the scripts I have written for my podcast. What I do is that those scripts I put it in a blog, and the same blog I use it for giving a speech in public speaking session. So I figured out that these are the things I'm good at. That is the editing photographs, the photography, and telling a story out of that photograph, and writing, public speaking. And I realized that it has a pattern. It has something to say that I was good at storytelling skill. I need to improve it, but still I enjoyed it. So that's why I'm here, because next time when someone asks me to introduce, not in the near next time, maybe in future, if someone asks me who I am and introduce myself, I will not say, I will not tell that I am Yasser Arafat. I am associated with so and so company, and I am in a so and so position. But rather, I would say I am a writer and I am a public speaker. Thank you very much.
Let us some stand up as a- Thank you, Azhar. You have a seat. Each one identity. Now using that as a clue to my team. Yes, we need to build the identity of this. Yes. Before I talk about the next point, I want to throw two jargons and let's see what you understand with it. The first is carbon footprint, second is the water footprint. Anyone tell me what are these two? What does it mean? Carbon footprint and water footprint.
Carbon footprint is how many times a place has been visited by human beings.
Carbon
Carbon content in atmosphere.
Carbon dioxide emission.
Due to any
Power usage.
so due to any, especially for example, if I have to manufacture this water bottle along with water, the whole manufacturing process from the start to end, how much amount of carbon is used? Or how much amount of carbon is generated out of it, regenerated. And what is water footprint?
Amount of water.
Amount of water used. Like for example, if you observe the plastic preparation, more than the carbon, water is used very much, right? To cool down this bottle, to pump air into this, and all of that. So most of the items that are prepared use this, factories have this scale, how much carbon they use, how much carbon they emit, and what is the water. So that brings me to the next point of recycle and upcycle. Again, two different words. I am hoping that everybody knows the word recycle. So what does recycle mean? Reuse.
To make it reusable.
Yes. So for example, take this plastic, you see all the people who take this plastic, they take it to a factory, melt the plastic back, and create a new plastic out of it. Similarly, paper, cardboard boxes, electronic items also are being reused. They have a different way, but it needs a factory setup, and the carbon footprint and the water footprint goes up again to produce one. Maybe lesser, but it is there. Upcycle on the other side is how we as people can take action. Reuse is directly use it in a something else, but upcycle is especially all these scraps that we do, right? Like it says bottle is there, I'm taking it as example. Just cut the top part and put mud into it, and you can put a plant in it, right? So that's one example. And water to the top part, keep it back there. You can pour water, let it be there so that you can drip slowly. Like this, you can reuse, upcycle everything that is there with us. It's mindfulness. There are a lot of companies who take these plastic items and do the upcycling of items. Especially, I was looking at one small village in I think Andhra Pradesh, exactly. They take all these plastic wrappers and they make clothes out of it. All the plastic wrappers. They make, yeah, so they make they make it like a yarn again out of the plastic. And once you make it yarn, it's like making another set of clothes out of it. So it's a very nice example. And there are a lot of there's an NGO in Bangalore itself. They create these playgrounds. So they use all these rubbers that are there and create a nice playful park around it. Just color it up and make it a play space. This kind of ideas are moving in across India. We can contribute to that. or we can take that idea and maybe make it another. This is my idea. Now, again, back to the meeting. So now let's get into the fun part of the Toastmasters meeting, that is table topics. For that, I have Toastmaster Vaibhavi, who is a software engineer and an aspiring professor. So please help me welcome Vaibhavi on the stage.
Thank you for that pristine introduction, distinguished Toastmaster Yaskadeva. Well, how are you, all of you? That's nice to hear. Okay, so now this is the fun part of the meeting. Of course, all the parts have their own unique identities, but the identity of this section is fun or edutainment. That is, we have education, nuggets of education apart with your entertainment, because there are no rules as such. Introduction, body, conclusion. You may have it, but it's your choice. We can have a lot of humor also in this session. So let me not take much time. So timer, let me tell you that I want you to flash green card at the end of 1 minute, yellow card at the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at the end of 2 minutes. I encourage all the speakers to speak at least for 1 minute to avoid time disqualification. And as soon as you see 2 minutes, as soon as you see red card, that is at the end of 2 minutes, within 30 seconds, please wrap up your speech to avoid time disqualification. Well, to spice up this segment, I have chits with me. So you can pick your own fate. I'm sorry, you can pick your own topic, and I will tell you to speak on that topic. The format in which I tell you the topic is name of the person, topic name, name of the person, so that you don't get confused. And for the benefit of the guests, you will be allowed to change your topic only once if you find it very difficult. But for the regular Toastmasters, that's not enough. Fair enough?
Yes.
All of you in sync with me? We are all on the same page? Okay. So we have an incentive for the one who comes the first, which will be saying it in the last segment. So who wants to come first? Who wants that incentive? Okay. Mr. General Evaluator. Okay. Toastmaster Nitesh. Winning is not about getting ahead of others. It is about getting ahead of yourself. Winning is not about getting ahead of others. It is about getting ahead of yourself. Toastmaster Nitesh.
Most of the time, we compete ourselves with others. When we see that our colleague has achieved certain level, we have not achieved, we feel depressed. I'll give one example where this topic is also related, and it's a good learning. At least I take a lot of learning from this example. Two presidents of US, Barack Obama and Donald Trump. One person was retired in his 50s, being president, twice retired from the position and doing philanthropy. The second person started his journey after 80s. And he was around 81, 82, then he started. I think 78, he became the president. So we all have our own journeys in life. We should not compete with someone else. We should not see that someone has achieved certain levels, so we should also do that. We all have our own journeys. We all have our own time. When time comes, we will achieve that. So instead of getting frustrated or instead of getting, I would say, down with what we see around, we should be focused on what we are doing, and we should try to plan things and do things according to our timeline. So back to you.
Thank you for that esteemed speech, distinguished Toastmaster Nitesh. Well, that's so very true. The competition should be healthy. When I say healthy, it's my definition. How do I make it healthy and prevent it from becoming unhealthy or toxic? Well said on that. Now, who wants to go second? In the room or online? Okay, we have Toastmaster Tanuja. Toastmaster Tanuja. Goal of education is advancement of knowledge. Goal of education is advancement of knowledge. Toastmaster Tanuja.
So something I've been advocating all my adult years at least, when I realized that education is not learning 1, 2, 3 or ABCD, definitely not. It's not the number of certificates that you get and you can show to others that I'm educated. It's learned by experience in what we call as wisdom. That's education. My grandparents, they were of the era when education was not that important, nor was it emphasized upon. And the teachings that I've got from my grandmother at home, what she used to do, the way she used to live her life, and my grandfather used to live her life, was an example in itself. He used to get up early in the morning. They would tell us also to get up early. That was another matter that we never listened to them. But now I realize, why is it important to have a disciplined life? Of course, our schools also teach us to be disciplined, but the learnings we get from life, from our experiences, is actually education. Toastmaster, can we repeat the topic?
Goal of education is
advancement of knowledge. I will not use the word knowledge. It's not advancement here, it's a wisdom. What you learn. When I joined Toastmasters, first of all, I was scared to come up with roles, taking up roles. Although I had learned beyond fear is success, everything was there, knowledge is there, it's overflowing, your pages are overflowing, your screen is overflowing, everything is, the knowledge is overflowing. But do you learn how to advance in your way, the way you do things, the way you interact with people? It's only by experience. And I learned only by going through that experience what is advancement. It's definitely not knowledge, and I will all root for wisdom, experience, and the learnings we get. None of these certificates that I hold at home at a big file teach me all this. I've learned it here. Thank you.
The way you have encouraged me to have certain course correction in my topics is a pristine approach to challenge the existing norms as well. Thank you. So I beg your pardon, all the offline Toastmasters. Now I think I should give one chance to the online participants as well. So anybody wants to go from the online?
Sorry, yeah, I'm not able to speak properly actually. Like I'm not able to hear you guys properly.
Okay. This is audible enough for you now. I'm going to give you a topic.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
As Toastmaster of the day to kindly pick a chit on behalf of Toastmaster Jaikar. Okay. So Mr. Toastmaster of the day has chosen the fate for you, topic for you. And that is Toastmaster Jaikar. Achievers plan actions, not results. Achievers plan actions, not results. Toastmaster Jaikar.
Yeah. Guys, I think, yeah, so this is my first speech. Okay. So always actually like we have competition and this life is a competition, is it? When you're in the school, actually like, okay, we compete with others. So I think in this school itself, actually we nurture, so you have to come first and always you have to achieve your target result. So that's always in our mind, and okay, we always try to reach our result, our goal, and not much learning out of that. So I think most of the time we'll forget. Okay, so always it will go in behind the goal, and we are not learning. And when you not able to go to reach the result, is it? Will sometime it will most of the time we will feel very bad, and okay, we will be disappointed. So it's always important that achieve the result is also important, but sometimes it may not be possible. Then we need to learn a lot of the things while you going the result. Okay, so most of the time actually like we forget the things, and we always hit the result. It's okay to not to reach the result or a goal. It's a lot of things to be learned, lots of the things we have to take along with that. And I think as a parents also, like, okay, we have to make our children also aware of these things. Life is not only thing reaching the goal or result, a lot other things to be learned. Yeah, I am done with them. Yeah. Thank you.
Well said, Toastmaster Jaikar. It's so very true that this obsession towards goal reaching, we often have some glitches in the actions that we take. Okay, so coming back to the offline audience, we can have one last. Okay, we have time now. Ajit. Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Or you want this one? Toastmaster Ajit. Abundance is a state of mind more than reflection of wealth. Abundance is a state of mind more than reflection of wealth. Toastmaster Ajit.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, I came across a story which was speaking about a master and a cunning servant, where I could realize that it is not about what do you call hierarchy or the position in a society. It is the cleverness or intelligence. So which reflected me rather than thinking of superiority in the order. Rather, if we are productive at our work, that gives abundant mindset towards thinking more and coming up in the ladder. So, can I get the topic once?
Abundance is state of mind more than reflection.
Yeah. So immediately when she said this topic, I could relate to that story, saying that it wasn't. I would like to give an example out of that. While the servant was traveling along with the master, he was carrying certain apples, and as a precaution, master told servant saying that I do have two eyes at my back. I'll be looking at you. You need not eat my apples. So the servant was skillfully, he was telling that after showing one apple to his backhand, and he was eating one by one. Later he realized, when the master realized that then the entire basket was completely empty. So he asked him, why did you do that? I told you. He said, as you said, there are two eyes on your back. And I used to show it one and I used to eat. So this is the cleverness of that servant, showing that this indicates abundance of a mind over rather than reflection of wealth. With this, I would like to conclude. Thank you.
Well, that's so very true that we have to have the sense of abundance in our mind than our bank balance or paychecks showing that. So very well said. With that, we come to the end of this fun section, that is table topic section. I remember I promised some incentive, which will be again revealing in the end. So back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Topics always a different feeling. So now before I hand over back to the general evaluator to give his comments on how I nurture the nature, I just want all of you to just reflect back. It's not about always what government officials are doing or what WHO is doing to take action about the environment. It's up to us. Like one of my favorite movies, Stalin, it says, you tell three people, let the three people tell other three people, and the chain goes on. So if we show through our actions, basic small things. Like in my home, what my mother does is we produce literally zero wet waste. What is all the peels, everything? They just store it, make it manure in home itself in an earthen pot, and we have a lot of plants, and they put it every once in a month into the plants. So that is the wet waste is recycled at our home. And what we generate is a bare on dry waste, and again, as I said, all dabbas, all plastic covers, everything is reused for various purposes. So the waste of the home is very, very less. Let's try doing that ourselves and educating our neighbors, our friends to it by example. That way we can take it forward and maybe save the mother's nature's expiry date a bit longer. So with that, I hand it over back to our general evaluator to take it on the section. Please welcome the invitation.
After a long time, I'm G for any meeting. I may go little longer in details because I noticed few things. So let me start with Sergeant Retam. That was the first row. And a few things I really liked about MB of White Cross.
I'm sorry, I missed the detail that I was talking to you. You said something about.
No, I said no cross.
It's about telling me he's going to play the Grenadians role now, so I was just sharing. Sorry, sorry.
So there is another role that we normally say before coming to SA. I said that is the role of parliamentarians. Use that in some meetings. I try to cover that. Once in our meeting there was a phone ringing, and we need to avoid that because that was told by Sergeant Rams. And the two things that we normally do, we should do as many times as we can do: applaud and shake hands whenever we are coming on stage. So these things we need to be careful about. Sorry about derailing from the sequence. Let's come to Sergeant Rams. I really liked you mentioned about mission of Toastmasters and also talked about 3 ground rules, and warm welcome to the audience. Really great. One point for you to take home and then work on that. You should also think as what would be the next step of the meeting and whom should we call. And normally we address Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters like that, not Mr. So you mentioned Mr. Arun, so that is one problem you can. President Arun, I have been hearing you from last few meetings, and it's really great to hear you from the stage. You are wonderful, really great. You did a warm welcome to the audience and also to the guests. You made sure that everybody is included. Absolutely great, and I really loved it. Nothing much to add for now. And before I come to TMOD, let me talk about TMOD. Normally, we say that Toastmasters of the day is the most important role in any Toastmaster meeting. He will plan for the meeting, he will execute the meeting, he will make sure that everything is going as planned, no deviations. Do we have a timer for 3 years? That's the 3 minutes. Okay. All right. Excellent topic selection, and then as it was relevant because it was a World Environment Day, it added a new twist to this, and also a lot of learning because you shared few things: carbon footprint, water footprint, a lot of learnings about startup in Andhra, what they are doing, startup in Bangalore, what they are doing. So a lot of learning, and it just really added to what we knew from already. And then really interesting stories in between. So I really loved your session, Yaska, and really great. And then if somebody is engaging audience so much, you will feel connected. You don't realize how 1 hour or 1.5 hours has passed. One thing I didn't know it happened or not, but just as a suggestion that normally TMOD plans for the meeting, so timing is very important. If we have 1.5 hours, TMOD is also responsibility to make sure that everything is going on time. And if we are delaying or going over the time, he can cut from his own timing because that's how we manage things. So I didn't know it was done or not, but I thought I will just let that know. Now we'll call the speech evaluator, and then we'll go to the part of the meeting. So first evaluator was Toastmaster Purushottam. Can we have a question? You can come here.
Well, I would love to start with this, which was a pristine speech. Well, I want to divide in 2 things. The whole next 4 minutes, what I'm going to hear, it will be divided into 2 sections. One, things I learned from Toastmaster Arun. And the second aspect, the things we want to excel together to strive for excellence. So I'm not going to give the division of the evaluation, like if the speech 1, speech 2. I will give the complete evaluation in one go. So as I said, the first section is things I learned from you. So always love a speech when there is a hook. So the speech, it started so beautifully where one of the members in the audience said no. That says stop there. But then he said that's exactly where they want to start. So that was a perfect hook. I don't know whether it's designed in the speech, but it really came out really well. The second thing, I just want to mention 2 points which actually makes any speech a great speech. As they say, do things in excellent manner. Ordinary things will become extraordinary. So one was eye contact. So eye contact was on point. The second thing, humor, which is easily expected from Toastmaster Arun. The other aspect, any story, when it comes out from your heart, your experience, will be a great story, great speech. So the way you have selected, like, okay, I'm going to share my stand-up comedy show on how I actually started it, how I ended it. So the choice you made to share that piece actually made your speech a great speech. Then on the other aspect, as I mentioned, I took this opportunity very seriously because I was like, oh, are you sure I can evaluate your speech? He said yes. So immediately I went ahead, I brought Talk Like TED book just to read. I could not finish it. I'm sorry. I read 100 pages, still 104% is remaining. But over there, the author mentioned, he kind of examined 500 TED speeches. One component what he mentioned is, any speech, if you can make it as a conversation, will connect well with you. So if you see the whole speech, 3 minutes, 7 minutes, more or less, at least I felt as a conversation. So that's one key observation what I took away from both the speeches. And I don't know how many of you guys watched KGF, so the Rocky Bai movie. The movie, it actually goes in a normal manner. But if you see the climax, the last 20 minutes of the movie made it such a massive hit that actually taught me that climax to anything you tell, if it is a bang, the whole story will be a bang. So the way you ended by saying, here's the key learning, then you mentioned 3-4 lines, you ended the speech. I believe that's the perfect way you can end a speech. Kudos on that. And here are the few things where we have to excel together to strive for excellence. So one thing, I don't know whether, even I'm doing it, but let me tell you. So I don't know whether it comes from your experience because you stand-up comedian yourself, it comes from like where you just stand using a mic, or it comes from this place where the stage is small. So I could not see you moving a bit from the stage, trying to just address this side of audience, trying to address this side of audience. I felt that was missing. So the use of stage was missing. Again, as I said, not sure whether it comes from your experience, where you just stand, hold a mic, and then give your speech. The other thing, what I actually learned from my recent contest. So I got the opportunity to be a part of district contest. Over there, one of my mentors, who is Toastmaster Arijit, Toastmaster Olio, we call him. So he said, just watch the top 3 to 4 speeches. Over there, I watched, and they mentioned like always try to keep your hands open. So there were a few instances where the hands were closed. I don't know whether that's part of the story, but I would suggest maybe we can keep always our hands open so that welcomes the audience. The red card is shown. I closed there, but overall, it was a pristine speech.
Great evaluation, nothing much to add because I have written some points which was already covered. One feedback about the evaluator, when we introduce or when we talk about the purpose of the speech, normally we don't name the speaker because it is introduced by PMOD, and I saw that in both the cases. So please avoid that because that is a responsibility of PMOD to introduce, and let it be a surprise. I know nowadays it's not a surprise because in WhatsApp we know the names already, but still let's follow that record. Now let's go to the second evaluator, Trilok, for the evaluation of the session.
What is an identity? Is something that what I think for myself, something that I want you to think about myself, or something that you actually think about myself. But Toastmaster, yes, sir. He completely nailed it down because he started with telling what identity means to him, starting from what it means at the moment and taking it to the end, where he wants it to be. And that was his own very personal journey. So that was something that I really liked. And also that it was very relatable to me because it's a process of discovery, which was very well done. Other thing that I would want to point out, and it appeared like a strong point to me, was the eye contact. Now you may think that he was looking always on the right hand side, which you may have noticed, but the other thing that I noticed was that periodically that recollection was coming to his mind that I should, and then he was looking around, but going back. So that was, I think that was something really good, and you'll become great at that in some time. The flow was great, in the sense that things were connected, starting from the point where you talked about what identity was, gave certain examples, not examples, but like a description of that. Then towards the end, also very specific things that you had in mind. So these are some of the really great things that I liked about your speech. One of the things that I felt could have been done better were the detailing. For example, we got to know about you and why identity mattered to you, but not enough. I feel we could not, I think, got too much into details of your life, which typically I think is expected in an introduction. The second part is maybe use of anecdotes and examples that would have made events more relatable and people would remember you for those particular specific events. So those were a couple of things that I think if you work on would make your speech even better. So yeah, that's all I have. Thank you. Overall, great speech.
I do not have much to add there, and I think it was the first speech, it was great. First, there are two things that I always recommend people, those who are starting their journey on public speaking, Triple P and Triple C. Triple P is prepare, practice, practice. Triple C is content, context, and conviction. That's how you deliver your speech. Good luck for your next speeches. Let me go to table topic master. Very welcome. You did the Vaibhavi, and that was really good. You give encouragement for first person to come because breaking the ice is really important. So that was a really great job done there. You also gave opportunity to person who's attending from online. That is also good. One suggestion, I guess, that we can not specifically for you, but club also, that whenever we are using this table topic, especially when it is a bigger text, you can put down in the chat option so that people, those who are online, they can also see, so that they know that what topic is speaker is talking. So that's one suggestion. Overall, it was a great section. I personally loved. I'm waiting for my incentive actually. Okay, now let's go to tag team. We had a timer. Let me call it Toastmaster Arijit for timing.
So as a timer, I have noted timings which went for prepared speeches. For Arun Sriram, first speech, 2 minutes 55 seconds, and it was within time. For second speech, 5 to 7 minutes, it went bit over 7 minutes 51 seconds. There was bit of hitch during the technical problem. Okay, for technical problem. Then for Yashar, it is 3 minutes 0. Coming to table topic, Nitesh, 1 minute 14 seconds. Tanuja, 2 minutes 20 seconds. Jaikar, 1 minute 40 seconds. And for Ajit, 1 minute 56 seconds. And for evaluators, Purushottam, 4 minutes 20 seconds. Trilok, 2 minutes 0 seconds. That's it.
The next vote taken is Toastmaster Manali for our contest report.
So as an R counter, I counted the number of R's and filler content that we use in our speeches. So coming to President Arun, you gave an impactful story about your journey. I think I was in that, and that is also respect from that you are a coming. What do you call someone who gives stand up? So next I come to Yasha. You use a couple of souls, but that was fine. And yeah, Yaska, you had a great time on stage. You involved all of us, and you used 2 nouns. I felt that was a bit out of context. Vaibhavi, it was very good. Coming to the table topic, speakers, Nitish, 2 hours, Tanuja 1, Jaikar 4, and Ajit used hours several times. I guess we can work on this and perform the next time.
Before we go on to grammarian, one thing that we can probably, we all need to learn from how we conduct the meeting, that whenever we are doing any role, be it an evaluator, speaker, PMO, DTM, whatever, we also need to think that what is the value that we are doing for this. Because if you see collective time, and it's a very important concept. Collectively, we are spending not just 1 hour, but maybe 15 hours because there are 15 people. So this 15 hours of time, how much value we are adding with our goals. So think about it, if I'm giving this feedback or if I'm talking about this, is it adding value to someone's life, those who are spending it? So from that perspective, we need to perform our goals and then it is applicable to all of us. Let's go to Toastmaster Saurabh for Grameen.
Thank Toastmaster Tanuja for helping me out in the first time Grameen. Again, coming to the Grameen report, very good word of pristine, several Toastmasters and speakers, and I felt it very relevant. And a couple of other very good word used are lungs of the earth, then empty walls on the screen, hunky dory, well begin is half done, and couple of new words related to the this topic today, nurture the earth. Few another words is enterprising, helpline of the Toastmasters, they're very good and relevant, I found. Few new words which we came to know, recycle, upscale, those things. And few things which I felt were alternate words could have been used is another kind of identity or similar kind of things, which one I found is little visual words which can have been changed. And couple of words like what do you call, those things in the formal speeches would have been avoided.
Now another learning, why do we do this handshake and why it is important? Because most of us know, but still repeating that a person is speaking from the dais, the focus is on that person. Now the next person is coming in. So we need to pass on the focus, and that's this handshake is important because now the focus is on the next person who is speaking. So we should do that whenever someone is coming on the stage so that we transfer the focus and we call it a smooth transition. With that, I guess I am done with all the evaluators. Just one point I noted down, and I see from last couple of meetings also that role takers, especially tag team members, they narrate the rules as per their own understanding. What we can do is probably list down on 3 different pages, role of timer, accountant, and Grameen, put it in the meeting like we have other documents, and they can just read them. They can improvise on that, obviously, but at least few basic rules are written so that we are not making any mistakes. With that, I'm done. Back to Toastmaster.
Session that happened, features the tag team and overall. I realized about the handshake first time. I didn't know that. Thanks for the explanation. So with that, I am closing the meeting for today and handing it over to presiding officer to officially close it.
Thank you very much. Big round of applause for all the role takers. The speeches as well as attended the meeting, and again, once again, thank you to the guests who have joined today. I forgot to ask Toastmaster Vaishnavi what she expects out of this meeting. You are part of the club. I will not ask the question to you. Pooja, welcome. This is the first time you are attending a club meeting. Would you want to just come to the stage, introduce yourself? I know it's the end of the meeting, but it's okay if you could. And tell us how you felt the meeting went to the extent that you were. Kalpit has some message on the screen. Yes.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pooja. Hi, I'm Pooja, and unfortunately, I'm also software engineer. And I got to the Toastmasters like years ago. I used to, I'm like, in my work in tech, I have been doing speaking conferences. And one of the conference was well recorded and it was put on YouTube, and somebody commented there next to the Toastmasters. And that's where I started searching about it, what it is about. And that conference talk took me 8 months to design. And I was like, okay, someone's talking about. Then I started searching about all the competitions, and I learned about a lot of people like Seven in the comedy world, Sunny when I talked to him about it. And recently, so it's about a journey that people talk about it. Recently, I met somebody who revived those memories, talking about, okay, you should try Toastmasters. So I'm like, okay, now people have said it, so I should go there. And I started calling on so many numbers I found on it, and that's when I realized that is it that's when I realized that okay, a lot of clubs are there and online call phone numbers are there. They are private clubs. So that's where I this one and I came here. So thanks for having me. I like the idea of how everybody is able to think and take their role so seriously and very swift. I'm like, okay, how this is happening? Like it's a wheel and engine of a car, which everybody is working in their own fashion smoothly and coming back. And I did not process that previous information yet. And they have already noted the feedback in a very, very pristine manner. And then and talk about it, and everybody appreciates and takes it positively to improve upon the next time. So that's one thing I really liked about it. So I feel like I'm going to stuck here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very important. Oreo. Okay. That guest will talk to him later. Okay. I'll take this opportunity to showcase to you a couple of trophies that the Hoodie Toastmasters Club has won recently. One is called the Spirit of 92 Award, which all the old Toastmasters would be able to. This is an incentive for people to come attend offline meetings. Kalpesh, you can keep it. That's all the service you can give. So this was because we were at 8 members, barely alive club in 2022, and just look at the room now. And that's the hard work of a lot of old time Toastmasters of this club, including DTM Eska, DTM Manoj, Toastmaster Oryojit. And I think all of you guys deserve credit as well to keep coming to the meeting again. We have guests coming in from other clubs, guests who want to become Toastmasters soon. I think it's a testimony to what Hoodie Toastmasters stands for. Yeah. It's a bad term, hooligan is a great term. Okay, it's a compliment. And this is called the Renewal Rockstar. 8 of the Toastmasters renewed their membership before 15th of March, which is 15 days before the start of the renewal cycle, which is April 1st. So kudos to all the early birds for getting us this award.
Another award.
Another award that Oreo will explain what it is. That seems to be like a Rockstar award.
This is the Phoenix Award. This was given because we added about 8 members during that November to December cycle, when normally the additions to clubs are less. However, thanks to a lot of people, a lot of committed work from Arun and Dixon, who also joined the club at that time. So they all helped us win this award, Phoenix.
And of course, the entire concept of hybrid model was initiated by a Toastmaster, Ankur, who forced Oreo to say, let's go offline. That's when people start to join. And it's really, really bearing dividends. So a big thank you to Ankur also is due. So now we draw the meeting to a close. The election season is coming. People who want to nominate for your, some nominations have been received. Please feel free. Please talk to any of the existing ExCom members. We'll be happy to have you on the ExCom. It's a great learning experience. You will learn all about circle of influence. Circle of control is what corporates teach us. Circle of influence is what voluntary organizations like Toastmasters will teach you. Grab the opportunity, associate roles, key roles, whatever you want to do. Please feel free. We'll be more than happy to help you. On that note, I draw this meeting to a close. Thank you very much. Time for a picture, please.
Voting.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. I've shared the voting link to everybody. You can just tell me if you have completed.